On a clear night sky, we might look at the sky and wonder what lies beyond the planets, stars, and galaxies. Before, about less than 200 years ago, it was generally thought that our Milky Way galaxy constituted the entire universe. But with the use of some modern telescopes, our knowledge of the universe has expanded many times over. The same explosion of knowledge applies to our solar system, which consists of the Sun and everything that orbits around it. In a single generation, many things have been learned about the solar system that was not known for centuries. Humans have walked on the moon, space probes visit other planets, and reaches the far objects of the solar system. Other study of the universe has advanced at a tremendous rate, which result to changes in some customary beliefs about what lies beyond the Earth. One such change is the redefinition of a planet. This change was made in 2006, and as a result, Pluto has been demoted and is no longer considered a major planet. Before we continue any further, let us review first our very own solar system. The Sun is a dominant mass of the solar system, possessing about 99.87% of the mass of the whole system. The remaining 0.13% is distributed into the other planets in the solar system, with Jupiter having almost half of the 0.13%. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are classified as inner planets or terrestrial planets. They are called terrestrial simply because they have physical and chemical characteristics that resemble the Earth in certain aspects, while the rest of the planets are called Jovian planets. These include Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The name Jovian is after the Roman god Jupiter, who was also called Jove. These planets resemble Jupiter because of their gaseous outer layers. In 2006, the definition of a planet was revised by the International Astronomical Union, or IAU, an organization of more than 8,800 astronomers from 85 countries. The IAU is the internationally recognized authority for assigning designations to celestial bodies and to any surface features of them. This year, the IAU adopted a set of criteria for a solar system body to be a planet. First, it must be in orbit around the Sun. Second, it must have sufficient mass for self-gravity to form nearly round shape. And lastly, it must be the dominant body within its orbit. This means it has cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. The last criterion disqualifies Pluto from the Planet Club. The phrase have cleared the neighborhood around its orbit means that during formation, the planet became gravitationally dominant, clearing out any debris around its orbit other than its own satellites. You see, Pluto's orbit comes inside of Neptune's orbit, and so Pluto is not a dominant body of its orbit. Another thing that makes Pluto different is its odd highly tilted orbit compared with those of the major planets, which generally lie in a plane. Because of its small size and non-circular tilted orbit, scientists hypothesized that Pluto was not a planet, but an escaped moon. As more and more objects are discovered beyond Neptune, they are classified and sometimes are reclassified, until IAU decided to have new categories for objects that orbit around the Sun, one of which was a dwarf planet, which is now Pluto's designation. A dwarf planet, including Pluto, now has the following three characteristics. It also orbits around the Sun. Next, it has sufficient mass to assume self-gravity, making it nearly round shape. It has not cleared the neighborhood around its orbit, and it's not a satellite. Pluto, a small, cold, and distant object from the Sun, was named after the Roman god of the underworld and was discovered by C.W. Tombaugh. Unlike the major planets, Pluto has not been visited by a space probe not until January 2006, when NASA launched New Horizons to inspect the surface features, chemical makeup, and atmosphere of this dwarf planet. The New Horizons space probe also inspect the four moons of Pluto, the Charon, Hydra, Nix, and a named moon P4. Aside from Pluto, other celestial bodies are discovered and classified under dwarf planet category. We have Ceres, the smallest dwarf planet and a large asteroid in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Ceres was discovered in 1801 by Italian astronomer Giuseppe Piazzi, and it was named after the Roman goddess of agriculture and fertility. Although Ceres was initially classified as a planet, and then for a long time as an asteroid, it is now designated a dwarf planet. Like Pluto, it is not a dominant body of its own object, having so many other asteroids in its orbit. That is why it didn't attain the planet status. Other dwarf planet discovered is Eris, a faraway dwarf planet named after the Greek goddess of chaos and strife. It was previously known as 2003 UB313, or informally as Sheena. Its orbit is found about 3 times further away from the Sun than Pluto, where it revolves around the Sun for about 560 Earth years. Eris' orbit takes it through a belt of comets, and its orbit is not cleared, so it is considered a dwarf planet. Space explorations prove that the composition of Eris is probably similar to that of Pluto, full of rocks and composed of methane ice. Eris has also one satellite or moon, named Dysnomia, named after the daughter of Eris, the spirit of lawlessness. In 2004, dwarf planet Hyuma was discovered. It was named after a Hawaiian goddess of fertility and childbirth. This small planetary object has a mass of about 30% that of Pluto and has two moons, Hayaka and Namaka. Another dwarf planet is named Makemake after the Polynesian god of the creator of the humanity was announced in 2005. Its size is about 75% that of Pluto, and its one complete revolution around the Sun takes 310 Earth years. Makemake is the second brightest known object in the outer solar system, just slightly dimmer than Pluto. In 2015, NASA's Hubble Space Telescope discovered a tiny object orbiting Makemake, suggesting that it has its own moon. Its reddish-brown color also leads scientists to conclude that it contained a layer of methane at its surface, and the other signs of frozen ethane and frozen nitrogen have also been determined. This leaves us wondering, what lies beyond the outermost reaches of the solar system? No one knows. Scientists designated a term trans-Neptunian objects, or TNOs, to all objects orbiting Sun found beyond Neptune. The most distant solar system object that has been discovered is Sedna, which was named after the Inuit goddess of sea and is slightly smaller than Pluto. Sedna requires 10,500 years to orbit around the Sun. There are currently more than 200 TNOs, and with new technology and observations, hundreds more will be discovered and will give clues to the origin and formation of the solar system. Where is the edge of the solar system? No one is certain, but there may be more information soon. This is Gilmar Di Castro, and you have reached the last topic of our course, Physical Science, and I hope to see you in the future videos.